Witnessing the French government collapsing in front of our eyes in 2025 was not on my list. I did not suspect it will happen this fast. Of course, we knew it was coming with all the reports that were coming out of African countries, cutting ties, pushing back, telling France, you are no longer going to exploit us. We've covered those stories extensively. So we knew France was headed that way, especially with the desperation and how Macron was acting and how the government was moving. We knew France was broke because African countries finally said enough is enough. But we didn't expect it to happen this fast. France is literally, the French government is collapsing.
Political turmoil has returned to France this morning after current Prime Minister Francois Bayrou failed a no-confidence vote. That means France must now hunt for a fifth Prime Minister in less than 2 years. The country is in the middle of a financial crisis which prompted drastic measures by Mr Bayrou to slash spending, freeze welfare payments and cut 2 public holidays.
The Prime Minister has been ousted because he suggested a budget cut. He downright told them that we are broke and we need to start working harder, more office hours, less holidays. And as you know, the French do not like that. They like to relax. They like to take their time. They're known for their work ethics being a little bit different from other countries. So they got mad. They got angry. Even in the parliament, they said they don't have confidence in him and they ousted him. And they've changed so many prime ministers within just this 2 years. And Macron had to appoint another prime minister. And the people still are not happy because they burned down the city.
Social unrest on the streets of the French capital. Anti-government protesters clashed with police, blocked roads and started fires. Others were met with water cannons and tear gas in rallies across the country.
We feel like our voices aren't being heard.
80,000 officers responded to the grassroots movement known as Let's Block Everything. Much of their fury is a reaction to the deepening inequality in France, blamed on President Emmanuel Macron's plans to curb the country's skyrocketing debt.
That was intense. And by the way, they're calling for another protest in a few days. And they want to show their government that they're not very pleased and happy with their government, but also with Macron. They truly believe that their government let them down. And I would have to agree. But at the end of the day, this is a great lesson, not just for France, but for other nations that believe that they're powerful, that believe that they run the world at the moment. Things can change, and we've seen it change, and especially with the great awakening of Africans and the youth and our countries saying, no, this is not going to continue. We're done. We're tired. And the sellouts going out one by one, being taken out. The Gen Zs of this generation, by the way, respect. Let's take a moment and appreciate the younger generation. You've really showed courage and bravery, and you've moved very differently from maybe our generation or the generation before us. Of course, every generation had their own obstacle that they needed to pass. It's never okay to point fingers. It's not a fair thing to do in my mind, because some of the things that, let's say, our parents or grandparents or great-grandparents faced is not the same thing that we're facing. They literally had to face the colonial masters, the previous colonial masters, and they were hammered down and made to believe that they're less than. They have been enslaved, not just physically, but psychologically. And that is given to the next generation. And the next generation that came was very scared to stand up, to say anything. And people didn't think that they had the power. But this one, they know they have the power. And they also have the benefit of social media and technology. They can use it. They can tap into it. They can connect. There's so much that has changed. But in a nutshell, I'm very happy and proud to see how Africans are moving nowadays. They're learning and relearning what we've been taught. And that's a big deal, fam. Don't take it for granted, because I see some people that have been around for a while, that have studied and they know more. They tend to be like, why are we still talking about this? For this reason. We're talking about this because of awareness. Awareness is power, and the more you know, the more you can avoid the unnecessary obstacles, and the more you can focus on how to change, how to do better. Let's not be that person. Okay, that person that's always like, why are we still talking about it? It's extremely important to talk about it, because not everyone is on social media. Not everyone will know what we're talking about. Some of my videos that make it to people get saved and shared. It's not because they're on social media. Someone else showed it to them. Let's not only look at it from our lens. I want to just mention that, because I see some kind of sentiments like that. And we need to keep talking about it. We need to keep educating our people. We need to start opening up. It's okay. It starts individually. You don't have to have a big platform. You can just have a conversation with your sister, your brother, your neighbor, your cousins, your friends. That's how we can make the change. The ripple effect will go above and beyond and like across, so we can make the change that we want to change. So yeah, that's how revolutions happen. And I'm very glad and grateful to see how African countries stood up and said no to the French exploitation. And now look at them, look at where they are. Emmanuel Macron just recently was saying Africans should apologize to us.
Nous avions une relation sécuritaire. Elle était de deux natures en vérité. Il y a une partie, c'était notre engagement contre le terrorisme depuis 2013. On avait raison. Je crois qu'on a oublié de nous dire merci. C'est pas grave, ça viendra avec le temps. L'ingratitude, je suis bien placé pour le savoir, c'est une maladie non transmissible à l'homme. Mais je le dis pour tous les gouvernants africains qui n'ont pas eu le courage vis-à-vis de leurs opinions publiques de le porter, aucun d'entre eux ne serait aujourd'hui avec un pays souverain si l'armée française ne s'était pas déployée dans cette région. Et j'ai une pensée émue pour nos soldats qui, parfois, ont donné leur vie et pendant des années se sont battus. Nous avons bien fait. On est parti.
Now look at him. Look at him, broke and in shambles and waiting for his people to oust them. Because look at that. Look at the protests. Look at what they're saying. Look at the placards that they're holding. They definitely don't have confidence in him. And yeah, he should have acted differently. But then he acted almighty and he thought he could continue exploiting African countries. Joke's on him. Anyways, fam, let me know down below what your thoughts are about this. I'm Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.